welcome back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. Big welcome back to my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your presence, for your comments, especially in the comment section. And a big congratulations to this month's winner of the free tarot reading. If you have found yourself here for the very first time, we would love to have you join us. Please grab yourself a cup of tea, get cozy, get some snacks, and we'll have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather here together. But if you are new here, be sure to drop your comment below and hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my Etsy link below for a personal reading if you feel called to as well. And I do offer a chance to win a free mini read over on Instagram on occasion too, so you might want to check me out over there. But for today's pick a card reading, we're looking at comparison in feelings, true feelings revealed today between you and a third party situation. So this can be any situation that you have on your mind right now. How does the person on your mind truly feel about you versus this third person? We have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 here with the Golden Girls Tarot and this little tri-colored butterfly. Pile number 2 with the Shadowscapes Tarot and the gold butterfly. And pile number 3 with the Angel Tarot and the pink butterfly. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting today from Spirit. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Today is all about you versus the third party. How does the person on your mind truly feel? Pile 1. Hello, pile 1. You were drawn to this beautiful butterfly, the tri-colored butterfly, or to the Golden Girls Tarot, and this is your reading. We're doing a comparison today between you and the third party. How does the person on your mind truly feel? So we're going to start over here. We're going to do a double split here section reading a little bit. We're going to start with the third party. We're going to spend more time delving into their feelings for you because we're more concerned about you, but we're going to start by touching base with how do they currently feel about the third party at this time. So please take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can try a different pile or a different reading. I am reading for the collective today. So we have the 2 of Pentacles starting out on their end with the third party. So 2 of Pentacles. I feel like they could be building a life with this person because there's a lot of busyness. They have to be concerned with a lot of practical things, perhaps. We have the Knight of Cups. How do they feel about the third party? And we have the Star. Looking at the Ace of Wands on the back, we're going to clarify with the same deck here. How do they feel about the third party at this moment? What are their current feelings? The 9 of Cups. You know, I heard the term double dipping coming through my mind. We have the Magician. This person on your mind has a little bit of a theme that could be following them throughout their life. They have this desire to control things, including how much emotion they project out in a situation. It makes them feel weak to truly give themselves over emotionally to any situation, regardless of person. It feels like they have this control issue. And now I'm hearing that song in my mind. It's an old country music song, and it's a song that says, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with. We have the 5 of Swords here at the back of the deck, and we have the 10 of Cups. So it does feel like this person is building a life with this third party. And it's interesting because from the outside of things, it looks beautiful, the life that they've built. It truly does. This 10 of Cups is something that somebody has spent a lot of time investing in, even emotionally, but there's an internal conflict when it's associated with the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords is someone who is trying to maintain the upper hand when it comes to emotions. So they're very guarded in this environment, and they don't really, they put their best foot forward, and I feel like they maybe wear masks a little bit there too. They put their best foot forward because they don't want to be seen as somebody with internal conflict, but they are. But they truly are. But it feels like they are, and that term double dipping keeps coming back in because they're making the best out of where they are, but they do think about other areas of life. They do think about other people. For you, for instance, And there's an acknowledgement that there's something that they're juggling amidst this connection that they're in. There's something that they're juggling that hasn't closed off yet, that they're waiting to come back around, and there's an expectation that it's coming. There's an expectation that this situation that I haven't completely put to bed yet is still going to resurface ultimately. So they have this feeling that it's not over over on the other end, or they have this feeling like there's a restlessness because they should be satisfied with what they have, but they don't feel that satisfaction. And so there's a sense of them sort of trying to embrace their journey here. And there's a necessity for them to do that as well. Even their guides are coming forward saying that there's a lesson for them to be learned here about embracing the in-between, about finding joy in their journey as they see it. But they're missing that lesson right now because, again, they're too focused on the internal conflict. They still are... There's a healing energy here in the future, and this actually, their environment here offers them the ability to be more vulnerable, but again, they're turning their backs a little bit on that. This star energy in the future position, that's where I felt the double dipping, because you can see she's pouring out water on one end, she's watering flowers over here, because they are spending time, again, building, investing in this connection, but just not giving themselves over to it completely and emotionally. And if they were to do that, they could find perhaps more satisfaction than what they're actually experiencing in the present moment, because these supports are just that. They're just a support that help me to fuel the answer. So they're not experiencing this satisfaction yet. And there's this expectation that there's more coming, or they're not finished yet here, even though, because they're not satisfied 100%. They're still possessive over this, but there's still something that they keep looking into the rearview mirror, wondering about, that doesn't exist for them right now. And it's like they're trying to hold a piece of themselves back, is what it feels like on this side. They're holding a piece of themselves back over here. Now let's shift gears a little bit, because we are going to spend more time on their current feelings towards you. So what are their true feelings at this moment, please, for pile number 1, compared to the third party? The Page of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Temperance. I'm going to move this little guy in there. The Temperance and the Five of Cups. We also have the Six of Cups with the Ace of Wands. So I'm going to clarify with this deck as well, but you'll notice a bit of a theme here. If we have the Nine of Cups here, we have the 8 and the Page, which make up the 9 over here. We have the Temperance, we have the Temperance. So let's take a look at the clarifying energies. Queen of Swords. You could be an air sign. It could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. King of Wands, fire energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. And we have the World. Back of the deck, we have the Hierophant. And we have the Knight of Wands. So the person on your mind could be the fire sign here. We have very strong Taurus energy as well. Leo, Sagittarius, very strong here as well. When it comes to how they truly feel for you, pile 1, their position definitely is an obstacle to getting to where they want. So they could be married, for instance. So take that as it resonates to their situation, to your situation. But I also feel like for someone watching, and this isn't a message for everyone, that you're both in similar situations. You could both be married, for instance. That doesn't have to be the case for everyone, but there is this big pillar right in the center of getting from where they are to getting to where they want to be with you, because you inspire them to step outside their comfort zone. You inspire them to sort of seize the day. It's very passionate, focused energy towards you in the present, but you have walked away, or they have walked away. And what they're experiencing in the present isn't fulfilling. As we said, we saw that over here. It's not making them feel fulfilled. Not that it can't be fulfilling, I should say, because all they need to do is shift their gaze a little bit, but they're not feeling that fulfillment because they're too focused on you. And I feel like they really wish that you would reach out if there's no contact here at all, because they think about and they wonder about a new emotional starts with you, and you are the energy that they're sort of waiting for. It's like waiting for this opportunity to clear out the clutter, waiting for this opportunity to gain closure. They can't seem to move on. And this Five of Cups is a constant reflection of you. And it's a morning energy. They're cloaked in black for a reason, staring at the water because it's filled with that emotion. And that's you are holding on to the emotion that they hold back in this situation. They feel like there's unfinished business with you as well. And they really are kicking themselves because they feel like there were leaps that they did not take with you, but they also say that you didn't take them either. They say that you didn't really express yourself the way that you should have or could have in the past of your connection either. So they're taking their share of the responsibility. And there is that possessive energy we saw with the Four of Pentacles. That has definitely followed its way over here to your side of the reading because they're protecting this connection in some way. But they're also a little bit stubborn because they're like, I'm really focused over here, but I've invested here practically, and I don't want to step outside of that at this moment. We have yin yang, creating harmony through balance. And this person does definitely feel like there's something special about this connection that they can't seem to shake. But that's where that song keeps looping in my mind now. If you can't beat the one you love, love the one you're with, because they are building over here. They are trying to focus over here. They're trying to focus on the journey. They're just finding it incredibly difficult because of the internal conflict and the influence that you continue to have. Because they wonder what you could have built together. We also have loss, grief, sadness, and resurrection. They don't feel like it's over. It's like it's not over until the fat lady sings. That's what I'm hearing. It's not over until it's over. And they wonder, they're like, it doesn't feel over for them. They wonder if there will be an opportunity for closure, if there'll be an opportunity for solutions here. Closure in the very least, because they consistently think about you. When the reflection card comes out, when the judgment card comes out, that means that they're thinking about all of the ways that they went wrong. They're thinking about all the missteps that they took in this connection when it comes to you. And they dream a lot about you, and they think a lot about you in the evening. It says facing fear, subconscious release, and healing. How do they truly feel for pile number 1, please? We have here perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out and common ground. And this constant reflection of you is an attempt from their guides for them to clear out that clutter and for them to see the spiritual truth, to see the present moment, so that they can be vulnerable there in the present moment, because that's how we ascend as human beings. And we also have here Star Keeper. Cosmic ancestors seed the light by staying grounded. There's this emphasis too that they are recognizing that they may need to release some of their expectation, but they don't know how to do that now. At this point, their focus has shifted from release to one of just healing. And they don't have any intentions, I will say, they don't seem to have any intentions of creating change here because, as I say, they're feeling impulsive to create some sort of clarity between the two of you, but their position and your position gets in the way. So they do feel like they're going to maintain this feeling of sadness, of loss into the future as we move forward. I have deep cellular healing, physical and emotional healing on the back of the deck because it feels painful. They're focused enough on you that they are suffering. With this Five of Cups, they are in mourning when it comes to you. Even if it's been a long time, they still seem to be in mourning. How do they truly feel for pile number 1, please? You have be humble. The situation is definitely humbled because it's humbled this person because I just thought of the Leo energy, and I'm a Leo, so there's this feeling of Leos being seen as really wearing masks a lot and really full of themselves sometimes, and that may have been sort of the projection that they gave off. You felt like they were on the fence when it comes to you in the past, but truly this whole situation has humbled them quite a lot. We have open to change, but finding a balance. And that's the thing, is that they don't want to close the chapter on you, but they also recognize the necessity for them to stay focused in the present moment, because there could be things that are suffering. Their conflict inside of themselves could be starting to show or seep through or leak through into the present, into their current situation. And so they're recognizing the necessity for balance, but they also don't want to, they're not ready to close that chapter. And they don't know how you feel, so that's really bothering them. How do they currently feel for pile number 1, please? What were their last thoughts and feelings for pile number 1? I want to run away together. And that's the Knight. The Knight says, let's just seize today. Who cares about the consequences? We'll just run away together. The attraction is undeniable. And they wonder if it's almost obsessive. Do they think about you too much? You make me come alive when I think about you. How do they feel about pile 1, please? Are you in love right now? So even if you are in a relationship, they want to know how emotionally invested are you on your side of things, because they're like, I love you. Back of the deck says, whenever I'm with them, I think about you. I want to pull some of these. Cottage Divine Masculine Oracle. The link to these are actually in my description box if you're interested. If you read tarot or if you read oracle. How do they currently feel truly for pile 1? I'm a different person than you remember. So they feel like they've evolved. They're humbler. They're more humbled. They've been humbled by the situation. They've evolved. Their awareness has extended or expanded. They may have come across as a little bit smug, or because sometimes the Knight of Cups can give me that energy of smugness. So they may have come across like that in the past, but they're a different person now. The distance between us is killing me. I dream of being reckless. And that is definitely the Knight of Wands as well. But they're like, I used to be a knight. Now I'm a king. I have to think more logically than that. I don't know how to tell you the truth. But I do want a new beginning. It was coming out reversed. I don't really read these in the reversal, but I do pay attention to the reversals, because although they want a new beginning and they hope that there could be a time and place for the two of you, they don't necessarily expect that, at least not in the time, in the immediate future. But you are still a goddess. That's the Empress energy, and they dream of that second chance. So they are dreaming of you, pile 1. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. How do they truly feel? What was the last thought they had about pile 1 in the bowl? It was a sneaky thought. It was a little secretive. I just sneezed. Sorry, I almost made it to pause you, but I couldn't do it, so excuse me. We have the 9 of Wands reversed, we have the 7 of Swords, and we have the 3 of Wands in the reversal. The very last thought they had about you was about how frustrated they are with the delays. They keep these thoughts very, very private, though. They aren't even allowed to bring them to the surface. So it's really difficult for them to suppress them and to feel the full totality of their emotions, which is why they think about you a lot in the evening. But the last thought that they had about you was about wanting a lightning energy, or wanting to unburden themselves from some of this desire to expand. And thinking about the past with you quite a bit, when they had opportunities that they delayed. We have dream. They really are dreaming about you. They keep emphasizing the dream. 8 of Cups and Taurus. We have pineapple. I think of friendship, and I think about sexual energy too. So they think about reunions. They think of, oh, we have 2 pineapples. 2 people thinking about each other equally. We also have a forget-me-not and a believe in love. We have you versus you. And it's interesting because we're doing a you versus the third party situation here, but truly it all trickles down to this person battling themselves and battling, and perhaps even in your situation as well, battling our own position so that we can step outside and be open and honest about where we want to be. Even though there's a feeling, this feeling with the Eight of Cups is somebody who's moved on or someone who's not feeling emotionally fulfilled in their situation, so they should move on. We have a connection written in the stars, and we have Taurus energy and a penny from 1980. So communication. So this could have been way in the past for someone. All right, pile one, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates. If it did, please drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me, and be sure to hit your notification bell. You can check out my other links below as well. But I hope that you come and visit me at another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the pretty yellow butterfly or to the Shadowscapes Tarot, and this is your reading. This is a comparison between you versus the third party. So we're going to start with their true feelings for the third party on one side, and we're going to spend more time, of course, invested on their feelings towards you, but we'll start with the third party. So how does this person on pile 2's mind feel truly about the third party in question? So please take these messages as they resonate with you here today, and leave behind those that don't feel right to you, with the understanding that energy is always in constant motion. So how do they currently feel about the third party at this time? We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Magician. We have the Eight of Pentacles. I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles on the back of the deck, and I'm going to use this deck to clarify this message. But it does feel like there could be a commitment here with this person. We have the Five of Cups reversed. We have the Judgment. It really feels like they've had to put a lot of work into their relationship, if I'm honest. It feels like they had issues, and now this person that's on your mind is trying to fix things. It's like they're trying to put effort into this situation, because I do feel like there was perhaps even a sense of hopelessness that permeated this connection for a time, and now they've entered into this recalibration phase. It's like they're trying to apply new force, they're trying new things to save the situation, to work on the situation, because I feel like they've been investing for a while in this connection, but there have been issues. There have been trust issues, perhaps, because there's this recovery phase that they're in. And even this King of Pentacles may even be seeking some sort of forgiveness for something that has happened. We have the High Priestess. Whoops. Back of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands, and we have the Death energy. And even this Death energy is a phoenix rising out of the ashes. Here's the Emperor. Fairly strong emphasis on Taurus energy here today. But that's just for anyone who's interested. That doesn't have to be, the end all be all as far as energy. But this Death energy is a phoenix rising from the ashes. So I feel like there has been a lot of conflict. Look at the badger and the fox fighting. I think there could be children involved. There's little foxes in behind. And so there's a sense of trying to fix things, trying to work on things. And it does take effort to be able to create change here. And I feel like there's a sense of them kind of trying to there's a stubbornness about them. They're trying to rally the strength to be able to overcome their own impulses and their own sometimes immature reactions to things, or sometimes they behave in an immature way or something in this connection. And so there's an emphasis on really trying to fix things over here. But there have been struggles, and there continues to be struggles that there's a determination to power through in this moment. So let's take a look here and see how do they feel truly for pile number 2. Compared to the third party, what are their true feelings here for pile number 2? We have the Six of Pentacles. the Eight of Cups, the King of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords coming out together. So we're going to group those together. We have the Tower actually on the back of the deck right now. So let's clarify this message. How do they truly feel for pile 2 in this moment? The Page of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, and the Strength. And we also have the Three of Cups, and we have the Ace of Cups. Now, what's really interesting about the energy on your end of things is there is a profound attraction here that's coming through that didn't come out on the other side. And the other thing that's striking me really strongly is the Strength with the Strength. So Leo energy is really strong and profound here. You could be the Leo energy here potentially. But what is really interesting is that it's like they're taming their desire for you. There's this sense of you influencing this situation, or your thoughts towards you, or this lantern with the light towards you that they're trying to turn their back on right now, this hope that they have towards change with you. It's like they're trying to turn their back on that so that they can work in this environment, because it's a real strong temptation that I'm feeling. And even here with the Six of Pentacles, it's like a karmic situation they may find themselves in, but it's about giving and receiving, and what we give out, we get back. So their position, their status is making them very complacent when it comes to you, even though they don't want to be. They are really, really attracted to you, and they have to tame that because they feel like they just can't. They're stuck. They can't act towards you the way that they want to, because if they do, it's out of alignment with their integrity over here. It's out of alignment with what they are trying to accomplish over here. But it's hard for them. It's hard for them, and there's like a growing impatience and a growing frustration for them to tame this really strong impulse to act towards a new emotional beginning with you. Because here's the Lovers, and look at the volcano in the center of this reading. It's this, she's cloaked in red, which is this empowerment energy. It's like you hold power over them. Their attraction to you holds power over them, and they're feeling that impulse energy to choose here. But it also, here's the Knight of Pentacles stepping in front of all of this desire, saying, whoa, Nelly, what about the consequences? What about the unknown? What about my responsibilities? So that's where that horse is hesitating, lifting its leg and saying, I don't know if I can communicate with you, or I don't know if I can continue this attraction, because it's just too tempting. Because you represent, where over here they're dealing with challenges, you represent good times. You represent happiness and joy and going out and celebrating. You represent friendship and just a really good time, and they're struggling over here. So they naturally would love to be sort of more in alignment with this frequency, and you do prove to be this really strong temptation for this person, but they feel like they just can't, because they put themselves over here in this position. And because of that, there is a really strong focus with the King of Wands. He wants to see things through, but their attraction is palpable, because they know that if they follow it, it can lead them to a new emotional start. But when we combine these two energies, it's the Four of Cups. It's somebody who's being apathetic towards this situation because they feel like they don't have the power, because they have given their power over here. And that's why the Magician is in the front and center in the middle of this spread. It's like, this is where I put my focus. This is where my power lies right now, even though I really wish that I could have this connection. How do they truly feel for pile 2, please? Just saw purification through water. Yep, purification through water, emotional cleansing and rejuvenation, 32. And 32, it's a 5, which is a challenge. It's like they're having a difficult time here with the 5 of Cups, overcoming this. They're having a difficult time, being able to tame their desire to approach you. And I will say too, right in the center of the reading, the 8 of Cups does indicate that they're not feeling fulfilled over here necessarily. And that could be what's sparking a lot of this passion towards you, because they wish that they could explore this connection more. But we have Tree of Life It says fertility, creativity, destiny, and magical blessings. It was coming out reversed. And when I see a tree reversed like that, I think about an uprooting energy. It's like we're pulling out everything that has been in place. And so that's why they hesitate towards you. They're lost though. They feel bad about this loss. They're trying to refocus that and not focus on the loss. That's why the Five of Cups is reversed over here. But it says lost love, surrender, healing, and release. And it's 35, which is the 8. That's the work. That's the hard work for them. It's not just the hard work they're putting in over here, but it's to the release. The energy that they're exerting towards this 8 of Cups is really difficult for them because the spark is still flaring. What do they truly feel for pile number 2, please? New beginnings. They do dream about new beginnings, but this is a fairy flying through these daffodils, and so they wonder if it's beyond possibility here. We have success reversed, and we have generosity upright, and we have here joy in the reversal. They're not exuding joy over here. That's not what we're trying to say. They're not. They're experiencing a huge delay in gratification over here, but they are focused on this tree. And so the success reversed in this case, again, it's a fairy. Because of the struggle over here, number 34 is the 7. Because of the struggle and the determination that they're showing over here, it's creating a lack of success on the end of this connection with you. And they understand that. They understand that they're kind of turning their back on that hope in this moment. And they're not happy about it. That's the other emphasis, is there's not a lot of happiness associated with that. We have here, child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. And there's an emphasis here too of like deep down, regardless of what's being shown on the outside of things, that you have a deep connection with this person where you understand the truth of their feelings, regardless of what sort of rages on the outside of things. And we have here the cosmic heart, make your life a moving prayer and potency and devotion. And there is a sense of devotion here towards you as well. There's a sense of deep friendship here too. And that could be where the devotion comes from, this feeling of nostalgia from the past. But there is a certain amount of devotion that they have towards you emotionally, and then a certain amount of practical devotion that I'm feeling over here because of investments, and again, because perhaps of the addition of children. So if that resonates with you, take that as it resonates, but if it doesn't, you may want to try a new pile. We have deep cellular healing on the back of that deck. How do they truly feel right this moment for pile number 2? I would have a family with you. I feel like they have one though. I feel like there could be a family over here with the King and Queen of Pentacles, or they're working towards that, for instance, but they dream, they extrapolate their position and they put it towards you. Where have you been? Because I'm missing you right this second. I truly feel for pile number 2, please. I might sneeze. I'm gonna have to pause you. I've been sneezing all day. Sorry about that. I didn't pause in time for pile 1, so they had to hear me sneeze, but I've been sneezing today. Karmic lessons are at play here. I do feel like there are karmic connections on this side for sure. I'm going to fix it, but first I have to fix me. And I am keeping tabs on you. So this person is definitely watching you or keeping tabs on your social media. For someone watching, I feel like they've recently had contact with you. I imagine a future with you. And that smile, though, there's something really enigmatic about your smile. Something, you could have dimples. We have 2 here. You make it easy to fall in love with you. And have you moved on? Have you moved on emotionally? Because they are claiming here on the back of the deck to be addicted to you. What are their true feelings for pile number 2? wrongful advice. And they don't want to make a misstep. And I feel like they chose really poorly in the past as well. And now they're afraid of making another wrong step. I worry about us a lot. And they do think about the past quite a bit. I don't want to lose you. We have the light here as well, which is like the Ace of Swords. It's this feeling of like, I don't want to lose you, but what is realistic or what is logical for me to hope for right now? It's like I can't have it both ways. Have I absolutely lost everything? And it says I'm ready. But they do feel like taking a leap of faith is really, really risky. And when they feel that impulse to reach out to you, they step forward, and the logic steps in and says, I don't think that that's a good idea, because it could create that pressure that I mentioned with the volcano. There's the Eight of Wands. I want you. And they're afraid that they won't be able to control the trajectory of that passion. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 2. What was the last thought that pile 2's person had about them in the bowl today, please? What was the last thought they had? Well, here's the Knight of Cups coming out. Knight of Cups, Two of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. They thought about taking a bit of a risk. They thought about stepping outside of their comfort zone and taking a little bit of a risk, because they've thought about the closure cycle, and they've thought about the unfinished business and the passion that they have towards you. But as you can see with the Two of Wands, he's got his hand on one wand, but he's ignoring that other wand standing in behind him. So there's this emphasis of something holding me back from being actually able to execute. And it's probably that Three of Pentacles, the foundation that they're in. In the bowl today, we have the Rose of Hope, and we have the Little Rabbit, I think, of the Page of Wands. So someday we had that Page of Wands in your reading, someone who's very focused on you and really wishes that they could explore it. We do have Our Lady Mary in the bowl, so I think of motherhood, so children. And we have the Holy Family, so foundations in place with children. We have Made with Love as well. We have the group of bananas, I think of friendship and reunions. We do have the hot air balloon sideways. So there's an emphasis on not being able to move on or gain clarity. And they're having a difficult time managing their control over that clarity. It's like they only have so much energy to focus on. And right now they're focusing all of they're monopolizing all of their manifestation abilities and their awareness on trying to fix something over here. We have the Rabbit, though, again, the Page of Wands, wanting to explore. And I feel like both of you are on the same page there, really wanting to explore this. We have the Open Book, but it's flipped over because someone who wants to share something with you, but they feel like they can't. And we have the White Pants. I think of hospital scrubs with those pants. I also think of that movie, The Sisterhood of Traveling Pants, as well. And the Red Rose of Hope. All right, pile 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, please drop your comment below and be sure to hit your notification bell, your like button, all of your buttons, so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can check me out on Etsy for a personal reading and Instagram for a free reading as well, because I offer that on occasion, a free mini read, so be sure to check me out over there. But I hope that you come back here for a visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3, you were drawn to the big pink butterfly, or to the Angel Tarot, and this is your reading. We're doing a comparison reading today about the person on your mind's true feelings for you versus the third party. So we're going to start with the third party today because we're going to focus more energy on you. So we're going to start with them over here, then we will shift focus to you. But how does the person on pile 3's mind currently feel about the third party situation, or about the third party in general? So we're starting with the Four of Cups and the Four of Wands together. How do they currently feel, please, about the third party? We have the Ace of Wands. You'll notice at the bottom of this Ace of Wands is a triangle, which is very interesting. And we have the Devil, Capricorn. Back of the deck, we have the Empress. There's an emphasis here on fertility and on motherhood, so there could be children in this connection. There doesn't have to be. Please take it as it resonates. But for someone watching, there could definitely be some children involved. How do they currently feel about the third party, please, Spirit? Six of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. Back of the deck, we have the Eight of Wands. And we have the Page of Wands. I do feel like there's a lot of frustration for them in this environment. And honestly, it's a frustration that they may be creating themselves a little bit, Spirit says. That they are definitely not seeing the joy of the journey in this present moment. Their awareness is not even in the third party's realm half of the time. During this reading, right in the center, they're not even thinking about the third party. They're not even communicating about that. They're communicating about this spark that lies within this triangle, the confusion that they feel that actually steals their focus from being able to stay present here. They're calling it a karmic connection. They're claiming that they have invested a lot in here, including potentially children. And that's what's making them very complacent. And they feel stuck. They feel stuck. What's interesting is that Spirit is indicating that this person's position here is actually an opportunity for them to be able to master this apathy that could rule them, because the Four of Cups is somebody who could sometimes focus too much on the glass half empty mentality, and that could be a habit that they've carried throughout not just their relationships but into their work realm, into their home realm. Just this glass half empty mentality instead of seeing what they have sitting in front of them perhaps. But there is this growing emphasis on confusion and fantasy outside of their experience, outside of this attachment. So it's like I'm dealing with two separate entities here almost. This position of practicality, of investment, and then all of this fantasy in the middle. Because there's this pressure for them to take what they've been thinking about and execute change with it. To explore a new pathway, because they feel like this one is a limiting one. They feel like they've sacrificed a lot of what they've wanted in this environment, and they feel like it's a limiting one. And they do sit and focus about another path that they want to explore. And there's this growing frustration because they feel the pressure to act upon this influence or upon these epiphanies, but they're fueling those epiphanies with the consistent fantasy of it, because it's so much easier to fantasize in this configuration than it is to apply change, to find the key, to escape my prisons, to be able to move out of the situation. So there's this growing intensity that's growing in frustration, that's communicating to them that they're not happy here, that they're just dissatisfied or bored in this environment, but they're not really doing a lot other than fantasizing about escape. To execute change in this moment. But let's take a look at the other side of the coin here. We're going to look at their feelings towards you. Their true feelings, please, towards pile number. Actually, I'm going to use a smaller deck because that's a big deck. I don't think I'll have room over here for that. So we'll use the Panda Tarot here, the Way of the Panda. How do they currently feel, please, towards pile number 3? What are their true feelings compared to the third party? There's a certain amount of protection I just felt, too, around this triangle. You have the Five of Wands. They get very jealous when it comes to you, and there's this feeling of competition. This third party element could potentially be extended to you as well. That's not for everyone, but if it's your message, you'll know that you may be attached, because they get really jealous when it comes to you, and they feel kind of helpless to create change because perhaps you are also in a karmic situation. The Three of Cups. And we have the Devil. What's very interesting is that the same sort of practical attachments that they have over here are linked to their obsessive attachments to you. So it's like it's very, both attachments are limiting, because both attachments make them feel like they aren't free to navigate with their own emotion freely. So there's an addictive quality to you. It's like they're drawn to you like a moth to a flame, which feels kind of dangerous to them sometimes. They are, in the present moment, the fantasy that they're fantasizing about is this Three of Cups, this reunion. And you influence them. You influence them by the jealousy that they feel towards you. You make them want to step outside of their comfort zone and choose a different path here. So you influence them to perhaps step outside and break ties here. But it's like, you can see this panda, they only eat bamboo. And so that's all they're used to perhaps. But it's like when they're plucked outside of their comfort zone, they're able to experience so much more. Because they do think about flirtation with you. The Three of Cups is very flirtatious, very there's a lot of friendship emphasis on it as well, but also going out and having fun and wanting to get back what we had. It's like all these bubbles. I'm thinking about memories and youth. We have the Four of Cups. And if we started with the Four of Cups with their reading on the other side, here's the Four of Cups right in the center in regards to you. The 4 and the 3 together is the 7. You are what they fantasize about. They fantasize, but they feel helpless. The truth is they aren't. You can see this last cup is surrounded by butterflies for a reason, because if we reflect internally about all of these I can'ts, we would take the T off of all of those I cans and try again. We would find solutions, because there are solutions to be had. It just is going to take sort of detaching from whatever's holding us back, whether it be something practical or something emotional. And they feel like there's unfinished business. There's so many things they wish that they could say to you as well. They have conversations with you during this fantasy phase. They have conversations with you in their head. We have the 7 of Swords and the Emperor. And they're also not being honest in their position either. Look at this Emperor with the peacock feather. It's like he just ate a bird. They're not being honest about the hope that they hold out for you over here. They're keeping that very, very suppressed. And they're not acting upon how they truly feel either, because even this Emperor, again, he's seated on the limb. If he wants to make real change, he has to leap off of that tree limb here. And here's the Temperance. And there's the Dream Space. Oh. Just wanted to see if the Temperance, no, there's the King of Cups reversed. I will say this too, over on this side with the third party, this King of Cups reversed, so he's turning his back on his emotion that could be present if they were to shift their focus on the present moment, but they're turning their back on that emotion in an attempt to control their emotion over there. They feel like their movements are limited, or they don't have control over their position, but their emotion they can control. And over here, they just have this necessity to not want to control their emotion with you. They want a closure cycle. They want to be able to express how they feel truthfully, and surrender into a state of peace, but they need help getting there. They don't feel like they can, because they want you, but they just can't. That's what I keep hearing. I want you, but I just can't do it. But you definitely influence them, because they get so jealous when it comes to you. We have here, have faith. It says, trust in your faith in the situation. Number 12, it's the surrender energy of the Hanged Man. And that's what I was feeling with the Temperance, this belief of like, maybe it's not over. Maybe all I have to do is just wait and see, and something will come about, or some sort of evolution will happen in this situation. It's not exactly a honest reflection of what could happen, because they're not being honest with themselves or other people about the future, but they're trying to hold out faith that there's more coming. We also have here, appreciate this moment, and it came out reversed. It says, every situation is an opportunity to grow and find love. But the current state that they're in, the current relationship that they may be in right now, they're turning their backs on that emotion. They're being very apathetic towards it, and they're kind of, every situation that we find ourselves in is an opportunity to grow and find love, just like this card says. But they're not focused on that. They're turning their back on that truth in this moment. And if this Four of Cups showcases the angels bringing in an opportunity for them for growth, you can see she's kind of shying away, or she's turning her back on that in this moment. Back of the deck says, treasure your loved ones. Says it is important to love others deeply, and they do hold you in that beautiful, very, very special place. But it looks like a teardrop coming down with a world inside of it, because there's so much unfinished business, and they're so sad about that. And that sadness is keeping them very apathetic over here. We have here attend to the details, the Virgo energy, last quarter moon in Virgo. And Virgo rules practical steps. You know, they're very good at grounding their energy, seeing things in a logical way. The problem here is that they know the practical steps they have to take to create change, but they don't feel like they can. Not because there aren't solutions, but because they're not looking for them at this moment. Because it's just easier to fantasize about what they want instead of executing that change. We have here work through your feelings. And back of the deck says step into your power. Ultimately, as I said, every single opportunity is a chance for us to grow, for us to acknowledge our feelings and then act accordingly. And that's what this connection with you, that's what this connection with a third party is affording this person, giving them the opportunity to do. An opportunity for them to step into their power. They are struggling with that objective. They're struggling with that lesson, but they're a work in progress. They're always in evolution, so they may be able to break free at some point and create change. It's not being guaranteed here, though. I will say there's a definite sense of feeling of helplessness. I just saw I'm expanding my spiritual knowledge, but it was in the reverse. I thought about you spending time with my family and I. And these are the fantasies that they go through. They've run the gamut of fantasies when it comes to you. They've put you in the position of their partner. They've done all sorts of fantasizing when it comes to what they'd like to see. And, you know, fantasies and wishes can become things if we take the proper steps to make it happen. Some people don't want to see us together, but I don't care. I've been focused on money because I'm trying to build for myself. So they've been very focused on building a very strong practical realm for themselves. I just saw I don't know how to express my love, so I keep it inside. I miss being intimate with you. They are heavily, heavily influenced by the fire realm when it comes to you. These sparks of inspiration, sexual sparks of inspiration, hit them and influence them really, really heavily. I'm so attracted to you. You do not know what you do to me. And I have been dreaming about you. I've been having dreams about you. Back of the deck says, I don't want to be with anyone else, but it's reverse. It's like, I don't want to be, but here we sit. There's this feeling of putting our thoughts into action, though. That's why the Four of Cups was paired with the Four of Wands, because these types of karmic situations, what we receive here, the energy that we feel, we have to act upon it. This Four of Cups is a belief. It's just a belief. And it's a truth if we fuel our beliefs at it, but it's only truth if we believe it. If we think we can, we can. If we think we can't, we won't. How do they truly feel about pile number 3, please? So many things remind me of you. Because they look backwards so much. We both know I'm not the one for you. Like logic tells them, but they can't seem to break that attachment. It does feel borderline obsessive over here. I hope that you can forgive me one day. My life is not as together as it seems. So on the outside of things, they may look really successful, really satisfied. This Ten of Pentacles projects something really solid from the outside as well, but it may not be as emotionally as fulfilling as they hoped that it would have been. I don't react when people mention you because they have to keep their feelings for you suppressed. And it was my fault, but I blamed you. And I will wait for a sign from you. So especially if you are attached, they may not want to create havoc from you. So that could be why they're being very passive and seated on that limb. They may be waiting for you to reach out to them to see if there's even space left for them. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile number 3. What was the last thought that they had about pile 3 in the bowl, please? Oops, I missed it. We have the Knight of Swords reversed. We have the Sun reversed. Oh, they're kicking themselves about what they did not say to you. And now they're like, I'll never be able to say it, or there's such a delay in my ability to be able to clear out the clutter or to bring awareness about how I truly feel, because it's like they wanted to get something off of their chest and now they can't seem to get it off of their chest, which is really limiting to them in this moment. This Devil reverse is really speaking to sexual attraction and the impulse the influence that's having to their impulse control, their desire to want to explore this, but it also speaks to attachments here that they need to release in order to execute the change that they want to see. But right now they're afraid to step forward because they're afraid of the consequences of their own actions. They're also afraid that they're too late. We have the Two of Wands, there is a very strong mutual attraction here, and somebody who fantasizes about change. And here's the Six of Cups, and it's next to the charming Libra energy, but also next to the Swans. So soulmate energy here. We have the Three of Pentacles, and they're not filled. So building up a foundation, but we could have built so much more together. There's a feeling of like should have, could have, would have here. What could we have built together? This bone is lost, and we have a bone to pick. So a lot of communication that's necessary. Sagittarius energy with the get-go, and I think it's the Divine Masculine with the Lock. So they held back their truth because of ego, because of fear. We have the Key, and the Empress with the flat shell. I think of children and abundance. Pisces with the fish. Leo with the kitty cat. And we have the Apple of Temptation. So you definitely tempt this person to step outside of their comfort zone and create change. All right, pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. And if it did, please drop your comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my Instagram link for a chance to win a free mini read over there. And I have an Etsy link for a personal reading if you feel called to. But I hope that you come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.